Right now, I would like to talk to you about a thing that I call the open-minded scam. Here's why I call it a scam. So I was in a band a couple of years ago, and it was an older gentleman that I was working with. And I remember him telling me that the guys that he knew from years ago, he called them snobs. He said they were snobs. They weren't really open into what he was into. And he appreciated the fact that myself and the other musicians were open-minded to a lot of different music. And so, we played for a couple of years. And so there was this one night when we had a gig and I started to really experiment with the music and take it into these other places. Some of it worked out, some of it different. But I just wanted to break all of the rules and just try new things. And the band loved it, but he wasn't really as into it. He was polite about it, but I could tell that he wasn't really into what it was that I was doing. So then the next day, I went up to him and said, well, hey, man, I know that things were a little bit outside, but I just wanted to take the time to explain what it was that I was trying to do. And then he tells me, oh, yeah, man, I know what's up, man. I know what y'all doing. Just like I'm into, other kinds of music. I'm into Eric Dolphy and Art Ensemble Chicago. And first thought was, well, that's a 180-degree turn from yesterday. And the second thought was, those two people and groups have nothing to do with what I was playing. And so some time went by and we were on the road and I was listening to CDs and he was checking it out also. But he didn't really seem to be as interested. And then he tells me, yeah, man, I used to listen to the records of all the cats, man, but then I stopped because I didn't want to sound like anybody. That's the scam. Okay, and it's in two parts. Number one, you'll hear musicians say, well, man, I don't really want to sound like this guy. I got to get to my own thing. I don't want to listen to this guy. I got to get to my own thing. No, you're being lazy. You just don't want to study any of the masters, so that's your excuse. The fact of the matter is that you get to your own thing by studying what the masters have done and then figuring out what they did not do or what influences that you have that they didn't have, and you add that to your thing. That's how you do that. This whole, I don't want to do, you're being lazy. Okay, that's one part of the scam. The other part of the scam is the fact that at the end of the day, this guy, there was music that he did not want to check out. But rather than admit it, he played along, oh yeah, I've checked this out. No, you have not. But what's the scam in that is that's not very open-minded now, is it? So I leave you with this question. And I've broached this with two musicians. Say, for example, if I was into the music of Charles Mingus, but I didn't like the music of Eminem, that would be considered closed-minded. Now, switch places. What about the person that's into Eminem, but they don't like the music of Charles Mingus? What do we call them? Not very open-minded now, is it?